some background of machine learning, I hope. And you know that machine learning is somewhere we cannot go in a rule-based manner. Okay, so when we started with programming and we are doing, let's say, factorial of a number, so you know exactly what needs to be done, right? So that is not a use case for machine learning. When you apply machine learning, so machine learning you can apply when, let's say, you have a transaction going on, or you have a news coming in. You want to understand whether that news is fake or genuine, or you want to understand the transaction is fake or not. Okay, so this is a classic classic machine learning problem, where you cannot actually write down a set of rules, okay, and say that, okay, this is not matching these rules, so it is a fake news. So it is not possible like that. Okay, so that is a scenario when you apply machine learning. And one of the primary areas where machine learning is applied is supervised learning. So why we are discussing this is that today the models that we are going to discuss is ensemble model on supervised learning. Okay, and to tell you the truth, ensemble learning is famous and popular for supervised learning only, or most used for supervised learning only. Okay, so what is supervised learning, right? So again, a lot of this artificial intelligence and machine learning terminology comes from our normal learning and pedagogy terminology, right? So how a child learns, so there is a supervisor who is there and who actually trains. So what do we mean by train? So let's take a simple task of object identification. So let's say you have a toddler at your home, and you want to teach him or her that okay, so this animal is a cat and this animal is a dog. You want to just do that. So what typically happens, that a parent will be there, or a guardian will be there, will tell that kid or the toddler that, see, this is a cat, this is a dog, like that. Okay, and the kid actually learns from there. Okay, so this is often called as training. The adult who is accompanying this kid plays the role of the supervisor, right? So this is the overall context of the supervised learning, and it has two phases, as you can see. So the first phase is the training phase, when the kid is learning. Okay, and then after some time, it doesn't need the supervision, and it can look at an animal which it has not seen earlier, and classify it that, okay, this is a cat, or this is a dog. So the same example has been shown here with respect to a duck and not duck. I just changed it to cat and dog because it is more commonplace for us to show to a kid. Okay, so this is the training phase, and then, as I said, when the child has learned, it can independently identify that it is a duck or it is not a duck. Okay, now there is a small variation of supervised learning, or we can say that there are two types of supervised learning. One which we just discussed, which is this object identification or classification, where the target variable is actually categorical in nature. Okay, so again, let me just step back a little, right? So what we have in a typical machine learning setting is we have a data set. Okay, and this data set is arranged in rows and columns. Okay, so if I think of the cat and dog, so one cat will occupy one row, one animal rather will occupy one row. Okay, so these are called as rows, observation, entities, any of these terms. Okay, and the columns actually describe these rows. So there will be some attributes. There will be some attribute like the cats and dogs. So maybe for duck you can have an attribute that can it swim or not. Okay, so these are which actually describe that are called as the attributes. Now there are some attributes which you call as the independent attribute, like as I said, it can swim or not, or it can fly or not, whether it has whether it has a particular type of beak. So all these things you are going to cover there, and you have a particular attribute which you call as the dependent attribute, the class variable or the target variable, which actually you want to determine. Okay, so this is the setting when it comes to actually taking it to your coding and implementation. Okay, Okay, so you have a data set over here. Okay, and when this target variable is categorical in nature, like in this case, it is dark or not dark, or the particular two cases we discussed, that if particular news, whether it is a fake news or a genuine news, okay, or a transaction is fraud transaction or not. So these all are examples where the target variable comes from a closed set of values, okay, which we are referring as categorical. All right, and in case of regression, what happens is the target variable is actually numerical. Okay, so actually what does that mean is that you are probably dealing with something like maybe you are trying to find out price of a particular stock. Okay, I think there is a question, so just let me see that. Sir, applied AI is different from machine learning. Okay, so what I will do is maybe I will stop at some time and try to take your question. So just let me answer this. See, applied AI is what I would say actually encompasses more areas. So it is not necessarily that you will only apply machine learning for that. As example, you can also apply game theory, or earlier, this reinforcement learning type, which is particularly a use case is in game learning, also in robotics, right? So these are generally part of applied AI, okay, but not that way part of machine learning, right? So AI is kind of a subset, and nowadays AI has been very much centric towards application. So we are really not reading about, so AI can be categorized in two parts. One is a specific AI and another is a general AI. Okay, so right now the community, the scientists, and overall the industry, they are looking at applied AI only, not on generalized AI. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now let's understand this in context of certain sectors. Okay, so in a banking sector, a particular example can be whether to provide a loan to a customer or not. So now it has been streamlined a lot. You have a CIBIL score and everything, but in spite of that, the banks routinely does this thing. Okay, and there is no set rule. Okay, no set rule that if he is 31 years old and this, then give him the loan. So nothing like that. Okay, so this is a classification problem. Okay, now let's take medical domain. So one of the important observations was found that actually, applying any treatment is expensive. And when it needs to be applied in an emergency situation that you don't have an option, you have to apply it, then it tends to become more costly. So there was a very famous problem, you can search and find out, where you want to identify from a patient's different vitals and his lifestyle and all this, that if that person going to need any emergency medication in next 2-3 months. Okay, if there is something, you can do some preventive measures and all that. So this is also a classification problem. This particular problem I was already telling, that identifying a news as a real news or a fake news. From the entertainment industry, predicting the box office return of a movie. Now, as you are trying to predict the revenue of a movie. Okay, so here that the target variable is actually numerical. Okay, so that's the reason this is a regression problem. Coming to telecom, mobile companies, so which customers is going to churn? So who are the people they are going to move from a particular provider to another provider? Okay, and given the kind of voice quality last few months, I'm sure this has been top of our mind, and we ourselves are churned from one provider to another. Insurance, very important problem, identifying a claim which is fraud. Okay, in case of sports, what should be a good auction price for a player, right? So you must have heard about all these sabermetrics, the movie Moneyball. Okay, so basically you can find out a price for a player from using different models. Okay, from network security point of view, you can identify a network packet as an attack or a normal packet. Okay, so these are some of the examples, and this particular problem of sports and entertainment, the target variable was actually numerical in nature. So these are regression problems. So some popular algorithms, which are used for classification and regression. So only decision tree is one which we are going to delve into more details. The others I'm just referring you for a knowledge purpose, and you can read up, or you can connect later to know more about them. Okay, so decision tree will have a structure like this. Okay, and where in the leaf node you some decisions are being made. So in this case, you assume that there are two classes. Okay, so these classes are like circle and cross. So these are the two classes. So the decision tree is trying to help you doing that. So if you have a new observation, you try to follow just this decision tree, and you can land up in a decision. So that's why it is called as a decision tree. Okay, KNN. So this the full form of KNN is K nearest neighbors. Okay, let me repeat. The full form is K nearest neighbors. So what happens is, this is a very simple problem. So let's say you are kind of blindfolded and you cannot see what's happening around you. Okay, and so you have earlier seen the natural scenery outside, and you have seen that there are two colonies of birds. Okay, two colonies of bird there, and then someone tells you that there is a new bird which has come, which was not earlier existing. Can you tell which colony it exists, colony it pertains to? Okay, so the only thing that here you want to know is, even blindfolded, that where it has sat. Has the bird sat near colony 1, or has it sat near colony 2? If it has sat near colony 1, then in most probably it is belongs to the colony 1 bird, else it belongs to the colony 2 bird. Okay, and this is what is manifested over here. So let's say this is the these are the two classes which are involved here. One is denoted by plus, another by minus. And then if you have a new observation coming in, you will see that what are your nearest neighbors. So here the value of K that is being used is 3, because you are looking at 3 nearest neighbors, and out of them actually 2 of them are belongs from this plus class. So we will say that the majority belongs from plus class, so this actually belongs from the plus class. So that's how KNN works.